Hey everyone, I wanted to make another video on addiction. I actually changed the scenery up a little bit because it's really windy outside, so there'll probably be a lot of background noise. I got Daisy next to me on the right, which I'll show her afterwards. I'm one of those people that keeps my Christmas tree up. There she is, actually. She's so lazy. I love it. Keep my Christmas tree up until like whenever Erica makes me pull it down. Then we have obviously Milo right there and all the crazy pillows that we have that they just mess up every day, which is a lot of fun. So I'm coming up on my 2-year, I like to call it recovery rate because it really affected my life with adult websites. That also, I struggled with prostitution at points in my life as well. So I think it's very important to talk about this. I think you can change your life forever. Again, I know how difficult it is when you're withdrawing from these things. It's very, very difficult. I use adult websites every day for 15 years, as many young kids that do that come in. So I hope this video finds you. There is a lot of hope. That is, I personally choose, I've tried different things. I do no adult websites, no FAP. And I don't use, obviously, prostitution or sexting other women anymore. Anytime there's any intimate moments, my wife is present with me in the room. And that's a very interesting thing for people because I have many people ask me, well, you don't, it's interesting. These questions, people get very weird about this, but we're humans. So humans have sex, they watch porn, they please themselves, the end. We either accept that or not, just the way how the world works. Now, they say, well, what do you do if your wife goes home or something? I say, I don't do anything. I have other things in my life. The orgasm or things that you think are with sexual pleasure are a piece of life. They're a unique, awesome piece of life, but they're not my life anymore. I can read. I can go to a cigar lounge. I can hike mountains. Well, what if Erica's not there for 2 months? Well, I'm sure I would have arousal sensations that hurt that I have to wear. I think we all know the term here that men don't want to talk about. Blue balls is the term. It's really funny. Yeah, you're going to have that. These are all the things that would be benefited from being spoken about on videos. Now, does that mean I'm anti-porn? No. Does that mean I'm this is a hard one, right? People are like, well, you're completely against prostitution. I said, look, I'm not here to talk about my opinion on that. I'm talking about what I did for my life and why I chose to do it. I'm not you. I could barely change myself, let alone tell you how to change. So before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below, direct message Phil. If you're struggling with this, whether you have OCD or not, we can help you. There's a lot of irrational beliefs that come behind those things. And again, I work with people who can balance it, but I work with many people who can't. So let's give a background story that many people can relate to. I remember the first time I found adult websites, I was, and the reason why I don't say pornography is because the algorithms can be very weird about that, which sucks. Just the way YouTube can be. So remember the dial-up with AOL, it was like, and then I found that, I must have been 14, 13 years old. And then by the time I was 16 years old, I was using adult websites every day, which I used them basically every day, no matter if I was on vacations, no matter if I was traveling, no matter if it was holidays, Christmas days, my birthday, anything. 16 for all through my 20s. For about 15 to 16 years, like 16 years. And I had a period where I quit right before I got sober for 2 years. January 21st, so in 10 days from now, will be my 2-year sobriety date. But before that, I hit 238 days. And then I relapsed, and that really fucked me up because that brought my OCD back full-fledged right over the Christmas of 2021 going into 2022. And it just happens with many addictions. Once you relapse in your mind, you're like, screw it, I've already relapsed. Let me just keep going and going and going. And then that's really the worst thing you can do. So, and I'm a human, by the way. I mean, there's so many myths out there where people say, oh, you just must be completely attracted to your wife. Of course not. I'm a guy. I have a sexual desire and urges. Of course, I look at other women and have fantasies. This is what people do. You're going to do that when you're in a relationship. Whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, whether you're a man with a man, man with a woman, woman with a woman, blah, blah, blah. The chick, even the most, now this is difficult to hear, even the most devout religious people I've ever met still will struggle with this because they come in with these fears. They go, I'm thinking about other women, etc. I'm like, it's because you don't want that to happen. And I don't talk about physiology, but the areas of your brain that detect fear are very primitive and very stupid. And once you train them, it's not your prefrontal cortex. Again, I never use those terms, but I'm doing it for simplicity. Once you teach your brain to be scared of something, especially if you have OCD and anxiety, it just brings that up over and over and over again. Now Daisy's literally, she's pawing me right here. She's like, enough of this adult website stuff. Just pet me so I can sit here and make sounds in your video. By the way, real quick, off topic, when I first got this pit bull, my dad was so pissed. Because New Jersey's one, it's not like Florida or Texas where pit bulls are more like mainstream. Where Erica comes from, in Ontario, that province, pit bulls are completely banned. They have a very bad reputation. And like, if you think this is a killer, it goes a killer. These are cases. Some people get so weird about that. I think Rob is one of those people that he's weird that dogs kiss you. And I'm like, that's because Rob's weird and no one loves him. But we still love Rob. So, and that was just, again, that's a belief system that people have. A little off topic, but people are always asking me to show my dogs. They're like, please show Daisy. Or they'll come on the call and say, you know, they'll be in like Saudi Arabia or something and say, how's Daisy? I'm like, what? So, but that's part of when you're making content as much as I am, people are going to know a lot about your life. And I'm very open about that stuff because sharing your story is helpful. Another thing I want to talk about actually before on this topic of adult websites is people say, aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you ashamed? I have no shame in any of that. Zero. Chronic shame serves no purpose. Zero. Healthy dosages of shame and guilt can balance out motivation and discipline to change. Wow, I really don't like the way I'm treating my wife right now. I really don't like these things. I feel guilty. How can I not feel this? Direct my attention and move forward. But the self-beratement that comes from chronic shame serves no purpose. You think it protects you, it's not. It keeps your life in the box. And the idea that people don't make mistakes. Most men today are watching porn, no matter what their beliefs are, especially when it comes to religious beliefs. There's a lot of people I work with who are devout Catholics, Christians, they're in the Arab Muslim culture, and they watch porn. And they're so afraid to tell anyone because they're so afraid of going to hell or judgment from other people. So this is a very common thing that we see. It's a bigger problem than most want to believe. And one of the best ways that Rob and myself would talk about, you know, Rob would say, you know, again, he's not like, you shouldn't watch porn. He's like, you know, you got to make the decision yourself. He would say to me, do you want to be on your deathbed if you're 90? I'm more than likely not going to say, I wish I watched more adult websites. That really stuck with me. And that was a couple other things he said, which I can use those quotes on one-to-one calls because they're probably not the best for a YouTube video when I'm doing a coaching call. I could use a little bit more explicit examples, which is important because connecting with people on this it's real. And when people come in to work with me on this, that's the first thing they say. I came in because you're real. I came in because you're open about this, and I've been struggling with this for a long time. And when I made my 1-year recovery from this on my Facebook, my personal Facebook, people were like, why are you doing that? You own a business. Like, that's not a good look. Sure, whatever. I don't mind that. I don't hide from that. I accept it. If it affects my image or affects my business, that means nothing to me. What means something to me is helping people that reach out that want to get help. That matters way more than anything else. So, and that's why I do what I do. So the reason why it was a compulsion and an avoidance behavior for me, like it is with most people, is the way they're using it, okay? So what they'll do is, Moment puts it really well. It's a ritual that people do. So they'll come home from at night and they'll be like, oh, I had a tough day. I was triggered all day. Let me just go to the comfort of the laptop or my phone. They pull it up. And anyone that watches adult websites, when you're watching them, it's like all of your problems go away. Does that not sound similar to many drugs? I've heard many dope addicts, and I've had many friends who have died from heroin and fentanyl overdoses, and friends alive who are recovered now from fentanyl, Oxycontins, hydrocodones, everything, and all the other drugs you can imagine. When you're doing those drugs, all your problems go away. If your kids die in a car accident and you get addicted to Oxy 80s or Blues Oxy 30s, the chances are all your troubles will just fly out the window. Watched enough heroin documentaries. I know enough people. They all say the same thing, no matter what they look like, where they come from, what their culture is. And pornography is no different for many people. It's like saying, is alcohol inherently bad? No, some people can balance it, some people can't. I can balance alcohol, no problem. I can go months and months and months without it. Won't even think about it. Never, ever have I had a thought, I need a drink. I swear on my dad's grave, I've never had that thought. I need a drink. I don't do that. I have more of a thought with that with cigars than I do with that, and I could still balance cigars really well. But adult websites, I couldn't do that. I felt powerless to them. And I tried to balance them. Rob and I remember Rob said, do you think we can try to balance these out? And I would explain to him how much I was using it, an hour a day, 30 in the morning, 30 at night. It was a ritual behavior. I was like, ew, yeah, you're probably going to have to cut it in order to change. So again, in 10 days from now will be my 2-year sobriety. I'm very happy to say that. And I think it's something that many people could achieve, and I think it would help the recovery process a lot. You're better off. Remember, I'm looking at it on the reason why you're using it. Another thing I didn't like about it is I didn't like how it shifted my perception on my wife. Not something I enjoyed. It's hard to connect with a partner when you could just go onto an adult website and watch 100 of the most attractive people that you're into, men or women or both, in 5 minutes. It's like anything, right? If you're doing an 8-ball of cocaine every single day and your buddy says, let's do a couple bumps, you're like, that doesn't do anything for me. I do 3.5 grams every single day. And you're like, why does he know so much about measuring of drugs? So, but I mean, I lived a wild past. I mean, I've done many, many drugs. I took a half an oxy, I think, when I was younger, but I basically was like, I do not like the way this makes me feel. So I stopped that, thankfully, because that could have been a very bad thing. But it didn't work like that with adult websites and all the other stuff with prostitution that came from it. It just didn't work that way. So I think this is a very important topic to talk about for many people. And I think that, again, chronic shame serves no purpose. Your belief is fueling that. I'm a terrible person. This shouldn't have happened. People do things. They watch porn. They cheat. It happens. It's part of the reality. We can accept it. Acceptance doesn't mean agreement. We go from there. So let me know what you guys think about this. If there's a lot of hope, please comment down below. Usually it's a lot of men between 18 to 25, but women too. I work with numerous women who have brought this up to my attention. And they're like, I am so fucking embarrassed to talk about this from the female perspective. Because they're like, am I a slut? Am I a hoe? Oh my gosh. All the judgment of people around you. But what matters is getting better and getting back on the horse. And if you fall off over and over again. So it happens. Thank you again. Please reach out. Direct message Phil. Can get you in right away. Great topic. And we'll show the maniacs again. Look at that face. You like the camera. You like treats. Look at her ears. You also like the backyard. You also like going outside. No, that was a joke. That was a joke. Don't. Oh, look at that. Let's go see Milo real quick. They were making fun of me with my shirt and my hair slipped back. Rob was calling me, he was calling me like a used car dealer, so I put these on. I was making some satire videos. I was like, how you doing? At the Jersey Shore. How you doing? We have spaghetti and meatballs. Hey. Thankfully, I don't look that Italian, like from a skin complexion standpoint, because you become attached to that identity. I'm telling you. This is a really weird thing. Now we're just totally off topic, but let's just run with it. So when I was completely addicted to like the image of the Jersey Shore, right? Because I worked on the show for a bunch of seasons. And then my good friend, many people know who Don Mazzetti is. He was one of my best friends growing up. Mike Tornabend, he has a very, very big channel, Bro Science. He made a lot of those videos. His 4th of July one was filmed at my dad's beach house. So, and then like I live that persona, and then basically it just destroys you. Because you're afraid to drop that. And you're like, oh, this is who I am. So I would walk around and be like, yeah. And then you get to walk, you're like, how you doing? And it sounds hilarious, but this is what people do because they attach themselves to that. So, look at Milo, he's so scared. He's like, why are you putting the camera in front of him? He goes, because that's a good boy. You got stinky breath, my friend. You got stinky breath. Make a sound for the camera. He hates me. This is what I do. I mess with them. See, they mess with me, and then I mess with them. So, but yeah, things are good. There's a lot of hope, everyone. People, I think one of the last things I'll add, I don't know why I'm putting these glasses back on, but we're going to roll with it. I think one of the best things to remember is that when you're trying to get better from an addiction, you always want to accept the possibility that you could relapse. I know there's a lot of organizations out there that are like, your only goal in life is to never relapse. That's a terrific goal, but not when it's held that rigidly and not when you have OCD. Because many people I work with are recovered addicts and they're really scared of relapsing. So thank you again. Always a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your day.